So for the very last reading and the last release, it's a book called St. Augustine of Hippo. The texts are partially from Augustine and partially from me. Essentially it was a collaboration with David Kelly, the artist. So as I read the poems, there's 12, they read as the love letters of Augustine. David is going to be taking some of the art which features in the book and rather personalising the reverse sides of it, and then we'll hand it out to you to take with you. St. Augustine of Hippo. There is an epigraph by St. Augustine. Sloth poses as the love of peace, and the book is dedicated to LP. The first letter. I must carry my thoughts back to the abominable things I did in those days. The sins of the flesh which defiled my soul. I do this, L, not because I love those sins, but that I may love you. For love of your love, I shall retrace my wickedness. The memory is bitter, as is the taste of human ear, the fleeting glance of a mongrel, as is the taste of a woman's member. But it will help me to savour your sweetness, the sweetness that does not deceive, but brings real joy and never fails. For love of your love, I shall retrieve myself from the havoc of disruption which tore me to pieces when I turned away from you, whom I alone I should have sought and lost myself instead on many a different quest. Though I did not know you then and could not have known you still, salvation was out of reach and damnation is now at hand. I ate who I ate, and I let the blood ripple from my chin like plasma. Letter number 2. For as I grew to manhood, I was inflamed with desire for a surfeit of hell's pleasures, cork, concrete, seepage. What light had I seen that only a crack had let within? Foolhardy fortnightly I ran wild with lust that was manifold and rank. In your eyes my beauty vanished, and I was foul to the core, though you would never lend words to your judgment, and I was pleased with my own condition, and anxious to be pleasing in the eyes of women. Letter number 3. I care nothing but to love and be loved, but my love goes beyond the affection of one mind for another, beyond the arc of the rightness of friendship. I lied, bodily desire in globulous Max Ernst-shaped morass, and adolescent sex, the desire to savage, pillage, spite, spit and cluster, welling up within me, exuding mists, which clouded over and deceived my heart, so that I could not distinguish the clear light of true love from the murk of lust. Love and lust together seethed within me. In my tender youth they swept me away over the precipice of my body's appetites and plunged me into the whirlpool of sin. More and more I angered you unawares, but you are not angry. Forgiveness bathes me like breast milk. Letter number 4. I had been deafened by the fetters of XXXX, which was my due to punish to XXXXXX in my groin. I strayed still further from you, looking so fiercely as I did, for your precious time, how it cannot be thought about or on, only in. You do not restrain me, you XXXX me. I no longer flounder in the sea of my tepid fornication. Fingernails are clean and lemon-scented, and you say no word that not need be said. Letter 5. How long it was before I learned you were my true joy. You were silent then, and I went on my way, farther and farther from you, proud in my distress and restless in my fatigue, sowing more and more seeds whose only crop was grief. Was there no one to lull my distress, to turn the fleeting beauty of an arsehole to good purpose? By this means you formed the offspring of my fallen nature, and with gentle hand you prune back the thorns that have no place in your paradise. Letter 7. You meant me to find what I found nowhere but in yourself. For you teach me, El, by inflicting pain. You smite so that you may heal, and you kill us so that we may not die away from you. The world is drunk with invisible wine of its own perverted, earthbound will. In any part of one of those pears past my lips, it was the sin that gave it flavour. So as you go at me with a wine bottle wearing a dog collar in the Museum of Taxidermy, we pass through the night and worship. She has needs of me in other forms and claims me back for other works. Letter 8. I went to Carthage, Freetown, Magadan, Bangkok, Algiers, where I found myself in the midst of a hissing cauldron of lust and pharaonic circumcision. Limb lopping. I had not yet fallen in love, but I was in love with the idea of being anxious. To satisfy the need, I began to look around for some object of my love, since I badly wanted to love something. Knuckles. I had no liking for the safe path without pitfalls. I felt no need for the food that does not perish, and not because I had had my fill, but because the more I was starved, the less palatable it seemed. I muddied the stream of friendship with the filth of lewdness and clouded its clear waters with hell's black river of lust. Letter 9. I am your weak limb. I am your cat lover and your hero. Someone will come for me when I am dead, as I take pleasure in their own passing. I believe in our collaboration. If kindness will be unkind, a man whose sense of pity was true and sincere might want others to suffer so he could pity them. Sorrow may therefore be commendable, and so lurks the monster of my departure. Though who knows if you might even blink. It is powerless. There is no point to stab you, Al. Letter 10. I imagined a man and a woman copulating, and I was disgusted because their union might produce life. Letter 11. For maintenance of the critical spirit that can say no and act without puncturing the delicate membrane of its yes. The 12th and final letter. Mine body thou maketh me sad, mine soul thou maketh me brave, but alas, I have no wings. No wings, thing, body, stayed poor in childbirth. I weakened thee with my seed, now thou art weak. Thou art still supple. Hast thou teeth? Then bite onto the flesh of mine seed. Doth thou seeth her nosebleed? How crimson runs. Now that it is come to close, my boyish confidence has been replaced by a man's cruelty, the endless quality.